YouTube? It's your boy Above Average Cody, finally coming at you today with my favorite aim warm-up for Halo Infinite Ranked. Everybody keeps asking me how to set this Octagon up, so I'm going to show you that and more in today's video. Now that we're loaded up here in-game, the first step, of course, is going to be the map that you play on, and this is the question that gets asked the most, so I'm going to show you guys this once, and I'm going to need you to pay attention. You're going to go to map, you're going to go to popular, and what I do is I literally just search Octagon, and it's going to be the first one with 2.2 thousand plays. I'm sure it has more plays than that from me alone. It is called Octagon HCS 2042. You're just going to click it, and then, of course, what you can also do is you can bookmark it, and then so that for later, when you want to just jump in and set up this warm-up really fast, you're going to go, click My Bookmarks, and you'll see you have it right there in your bookmarks. Now, for the mode editor, and this is where a lot of people screw up, and I've gotten a million different questions on it, you're going to want to use either Ranked Slayer or Ranked Free-for-all, okay? I don't think it really matters if you're just doing a straight-up 1v1, but of course, 343 Industries, guys, you're going to cycle over, and you're going to go to, again, either Ranked Slayer or Ranked Free-for-all, and I'll just use it for you guys just to show you kind of the full setup here. So we'll do Ranked Slayer, of course. There's a bit more of a nuance if you do Slayer. It's a little easier if you do Free-for-all, which I'll show you guys in a second, but we'll use Slayer here as the example. Then you're going to go back into Mode Editor. You're going to go to Match, and then you can change your score to win, of course, to whatever you want. Time limit, I personally do like 12 to 15 minutes, which I'm going to talk about once I get into like how I like to use this warm-up outside of just quick little warm-up. Respawn delay, you want to change this to instant, so the bot or you are just always popping right up. Respawn line of sight check, I think this can go either way. You're always going to have the annoying part where the bot spawns right on top of you and you're meleeing each other, and that's just kind of is what it is. I don't think there's a way to really prevent that. Maybe there is. Sandbox, of course, your primary weapon, you're going to want Evo, and you can't see because my fat head is in the way, but of course, since it's a ranked mode, Bandit Evo is going to be the default. And then the secondary weapon, all right, there's kind of two different setups I do. Obviously, I run one with the S7 and one without the S7. If I'm going to be warming up against a bot, which I obviously run on the highest on Spartan, they're kind of annoying with the sniper because they're a little bit too accurate. But if you're going to 1v1 your buddy, I highly recommend putting on the S7 sniper because it is a great way to practice with the weapon, whether you're just working on quick scopes or working on, you know, hitting that body shot, switching to the bandit, or anything of that nature. I take the grenades off because having the bot try to throw grenades at you is just absolutely useless. This is an aim warm-up, not a grenade warm-up, all right, y'all? And then for weapons, I put infinite ammo on because I just don't like to worry about reloading, and maybe this can give you bad habits, but I'm sure if you guys are watching this video, you probably play this game enough where you know that you have to reload in an actual game. And I also put bottomless clip on. So infinite ammo, bottomless clip, don't think about ammo. I'm just thinking about shooting. And then we're going to go to bots, and we're going to set up a bot. Obviously, put on Spartan difficulty right here, bot difficulty, and this is where it matters whether you use the ranked free-for-all or the ranked slayer. If you did free-for-all, you're going to select your one bot under bot count free-for-all. If you did slayer, you're going to want to make sure you pick the opposite team from yourself so that that bot is an opponent. Now, the biggest reason you want to use ranked, a ranked mode, and this is where a lot of people have issues, is if you use a casual mode, just say Arena Slayer, the bot will have like that split second of like immunity or protection or whatever you want to call it, where your bullets aren't going to do damage. So it's just a little bit better to have you doing damage right away so you know if your bullets are actually hitting them or not. So just make sure you use ranked mode. This will remedy this. Now, something I personally don't do, you can adjust the health and damage so that the shields regen like immediately, which can maybe help you hold that aim a little bit better, because if you're inaccurate, you know, you miss 2 or 3 shots, the bot will get their shields back immediately. But the way I use this is just strictly for warm-up, so I don't even bother with the health and damage because it can be a little confusing figuring out how to make the bot do that. But I personally just don't, so that's how I set up the mode. And then, of course, guys, you're going to want to save it as a copy, and I have a million different copies because I've made a million different wrong ones as I've gone through Halo Infinite. So I have two. I have Warmup Evo, and then this one is my warming up against a homie where we have snipers and things like that. So that's how you set up the mode, guys. I'm going to actually load up into the one that I normally play right now and show you guys how I generally use the mode before I go into a rank session, and then how I'm using the mode as more of like an aim trainer / practice in my off time when maybe I'm not planning to run ranked or I'm just trying to get some reps in on the weekends. So I will actually be muting the game sound here just because the bot's going to keep shooting me and he is not going to stop. But this is what's going to look like once you load into the Octagon setup that you did. And the way I use this, guys, is I am focused on being as accurate as possible. I'm talking perfect metals. I'm talking trying not to miss first bullet. I'm talking trying not to miss headshots, because in game you're going to see a lot of weird things and it's going to be inevitable that you miss bullets, right? So when I'm playing against this very predictable and not super strafey bot, I'm focused, ideally, if you think the bot doesn't move very well, you shouldn't be missing bullets, right? I have yet to see somebody shooting 100% in the Octagon, so say what you will about the bot not strafing very good, but I guarantee you none of y'all are shooting 100%. So what I try to do is my guideline is like 90%. Anytime I shoot against this bot, I want to see 90%. Whether I do this warm-up for a minute and a half or the full 12 to 15 minutes I usually set up the mode for, I want to be shooting as close or well over 90% as possible. I think the highest I've probably had after a short Octagon is like 93, so we'll take that. But there's a lot of other variations and things that I like to do here with Octagon, and I'm just gonna go through them because this kind of takes it like what I just talked about is me just getting the hands warm, right? I wanna grab the controller, hop on the sticks, and just shoot something before I get into a ranked game. But there's a lot of different variations, and what I like to do that kind of ends up turning it into a little bit more of an aim trainer, if you will. Now, again, I keep talking about that 12 to 15 minutes. I will say, in the times that I'm not streaming, or perhaps I don't have time to run ranked games and I just want to get on and get a couple reps, I'm doing the full 12 to 15 minutes, and I'm going to see how good of accuracy I can shoot. And make no mistake, I am not pacing shots, guys. I am focusing on being as quickly as possible, not just snapping to the target, but hitting that first bullet. I'm going to get this kill here. I'm going to jump up. I'm going to hit the curb slide, and then again, try not to miss any bullets. And this is going pretty textbook right now. This is exactly how you want the warm-up to go. If you miss like 1 or 2 bullets, it is what it is. But this is how I'm shooting for the entire 12 to 15 minutes, guys. Like, I am not going soft on this bot trying to get high accuracy. I want to get as many kills as possible on this bot, and then I want to compare each session to another one to see how well I'm improving. And this is actually the most insane run I've ever had on an Octagon while I'm just talking or yapping to y'all for the video. But anyways, other things I mix in. Try new strafes, all right? This is something I think about every single time I run this Octagon. We all have the little balance that we like to do. I usually go left, right, and then I'll finish in one direction. I'll throw some crouches. But, try different things, because you want to break yourself out of that comfort zone. You're not always going to be in open space being able to hit your perfect little strafe that you like to do and then jump when you're one shot, So focus on the strafe, mix it up. Try different things. Obviously, it doesn't matter how the bot reacts to it, but it's just the fact of making your hands do different things so that you can kind of come out of your comfort zone in the Octagon, so that when you're actually inside of a game and you're in a weird situation, you're able to try something completely different and it doesn't feel completely foreign to you on the controller. Next up, guys, the only right stick movement, right? The biggest thing when you're windmilling, you're missing headshots, over-aiming, under-aiming, that's not going to come down to your strafe. That's going to come down to how well you're controlling your right stick and how comfortable you are with your sensitivity. If you're having trouble sensitivity-wise, guys, tons of controller settings videos on the channel. Just go check in the description. There's one right there. But I like to just stand still. Stand still and shoot the bot. Maybe you haven't played in a couple days, your hands are freezing cold. This will give you your control over the right stick. Throw some of the, what do they call them, ogre twitches here, snap over, and I promise you, do this for a while, throw in some jumps, because if you're jumping, obviously, you're not strafing. just keep jumping around. Please don't learn it as a habit, but this is all going to give you really good control of your right stick. And this is what I started doing when I was having trouble windmilling and missing a lot of headshots, is I just started jumping around, and it gives you much better control. The only downside with doing this against a bot, though, is for some reason, once you start jumping around, the bot, I swear, goes full brain dead, and it doesn't feel like they're strafing quite as good. So this might be a better one used against like a homie or something like that, but you guys get the drift here that I'm talking about. Next up, some more extravagant stuff that actually does a lot more than you think it is. Turning your HUD off, and then also, if you guys did not know, you can turn off your aim magnetism. Now, let me tell you, aim magnetism is like super like next level because it's very hard to aim. But first, we'll talk about no HUD. Not having a reticle can really change the game. Like, it actually seems like the game's ending the way the HUD disappears. But if you can aim without a reticle, because a lot of people like to reticle watch a little bit too heavily, and when you have the HUD off, the reticle ain't even there, guys. So you're no longer able to reticle watch. So that's one thing that can definitely help you out a little bit. And then, of course, again, the big kahuna is turning off aim magnetism. This would be no aim assist. And all you controller players that talk bad about M&K or vice versa, you don't realize how much aim assist does for you until you turn it off, all right? So if you have not already done this, I highly recommend you hopping into Octagon and turning off aim magnetism and just see how you're able to do. But a big thing with this, guys, is it teaches you to use a lot of left stick, right? If you're over-aiming, you're windmilling, again, you're missing the headshots, a lot of it could be not that you're necessarily uncomfortable on your sensitivity. You might just be a little too heavy on that right stick. And if you practice with aim magnetism off, you're gonna have to learn how to use that left stick, okay? Because these fine little movements are going to have to be done with your strafe. If you're trying to just aim right stick with no aim magnetism, bro, it is not easy, trust me. And again, if you've never played with it off, I don't want to hear you down in the comments section saying, oh, you know, Cody needs aim assist. It's like, yes, if you're on controller, you need aim assist. It's just a fact of gaming, bro. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much everything that I do in the Octagon. Again, I would call this an aim warm-up. I would not so much call it an aim trainer, because if you're actually going to train your aim, I recommend you putting yourself in situations where you're on an actual map with actual cover, and, you know, players moving around the map, because you don't really want to train yourself to just always be in this clean 1v1, because you're going to have players strafing in and out of cover. You should be strafing in and out of cover. You should be learning when to back out of your gunfights and try to live. That's why I look at Octagon, again, as a warm-up. I do it every time before I play ranked. I'll use it as a little bit of aim practice, but again, I think if you're really looking for the best quote-unquote aim trainer, this isn't necessarily the place to go, but it's what I do. It's done a lot to take my aim to the next level, and 1v1ing players that are better than you guys is going to be the best way to start winning more ones in your lobbies. But alrighty, guys, that does it. That is how you set up my personal warm-up, Octagon HCS 2042. Don't forget to use your ranked mode. Feel free to turn on the shield regen I mentioned, and try all these little drills, guys, and let me know if they help improve your game. And just keep striving for that 90% in Octagon, because I promise you, if you start hitting that 90% in Octagon, guys, you're going to start seeing that 60, 65, maybe even 70% out there in your ranked games. But yeah, guys, subscribe to the channel. We're grinding the Halo content. We've been slacking a little bit, I'm not going to lie to you, but we're ramping it back up this week. Full-length videos, shorts, and, of course, live streams over on Twitch as well. Hit the thumbs up on the video down below so my future ranked teammates can hopefully find this video and start practicing their horrendous aim. And, then, of course, guys, leave a comment. What do you like to do for your aim warm-up? Do you even warm up at all? Let me know down below. And then, finally, guys, channel memberships and super thanks. It helps me out a lot as a content creator, but please don't feel like you have to. But, alrighty, guys, this was a little longer than I wanted to be, but it's got a lot of information in it. It answers a lot of questions that I get all the time in the live streams and in the comment section. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video, y'all.